Yay, technology.
It's working. It's working. Making sure I'm close enough. Alright, so is this our audience then? The final looks?
Okay.
Cool.
All right. So, good morning, everybody. Thanks for having us again. So this will be the proposal that we created over the year-long semester for you guys. Just the entire, thing, everything from the surveys to the data to the financials and all the good stuff that we went over in our last meeting. Okay. So I'm Reggie Walker again.
I'm Omar Tizanos.
I'm Gitsika Patrick.
And we're gonna get started for you guys.
So here's the roadmap for our presentation. It's kind of basically what we did throughout the semester. So we first started out with the situation assessment, and then Aaron gave us our objectives for what exactly we were trying to accomplish. And then we went forward and we framed the problem, we conducted research, we narrowed down that research into something that would be more transferable to a suggestion, we formulated a strategy, and then we proceeded to implement that strategy. So that was kind of what our semester looked like. Next slide is the SWOT analysis.
So this is the SWOT analysis, and so we all know what a SWOT analysis is. It's the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So as you can see in the green box, some of the strengths that we thought were primary to you guys was the local popularity. Since you all are located in Austin, the headquarters is here, everyone knows about you guys, and everyone likes you guys, so that's great, as opposed to Jennings. Then you're probably owned, which is also great because y'all can change things here and there. You don't have to go through a lot of people to get changes made, things of that nature. So that's always good to have. You have quality products. Of course, you have the great ice cream flavors. You have other things such as the deli, not the deli, but the like the hot dogs and the hamburgers and things like that. Where you can get also the restaurant. Unique and fun experience. Of course, everybody comes to Amy's for the experience. Of course, that's what I do. That's what I'm sure everyone else does. You get the experience. You chop up the ice cream with the little toppings, which is also great. It's very creative. I think that experience is very creative. I've never really been to any other ice cream retailer who does that. It's a simple get the scoop of ice cream and go. But you guys have that experience, which is great. New ice cream flavors every week. It's good to change it up. And it's no ice cream retailer has a flavor of the month club. Not that we've researched, a lot of people do not have a flavor of the month club as far as ice cream is concerned, especially in Austin. So that'd be great for you guys to start that off and kick that off and continue that. So then you have weaknesses, of course, like every other business would. A lack of organizational power. Of course, your staff is not very large, so you don't want to make it too many different things, such as get your hands in too many things. You want to make sure you keep it consistent and keep it direct, so you can have that organizational power. Lots of ideas, but not a lot of structure. Y'all have a lot of ideas, but you need people to make sure you're structured and make sure everything is outlined that way. If you have to go back in the past and look at things, it's already there. You can make sure the future ideas are great as well from the past. Shipping ice cream is expensive, of course, and uncertain customer demographic. We really didn't know the customer demographic we wanted to actually target, so we had to do a lot of research, which is fine. But if we did have that, that would have been even more better for the Flavor of the Month Club. Okay, then you have opportunities, which are there's a market demand for home delivered ice cream. People do want delivered ice cream, of course. Everyone can be lazy, and we don't want to go into the store, so we can have the ice cream delivered, which is also great. Delivery is just the best. People from out of town can also still get Amy's ice cream. And when you're out of town, you might miss Amy's ice cream, so you can call us up, go on the internet, and also get that ice cream, and you can get it delivered to you. If they can integrate the Amy's experience, it's great that this business is all about the experience. So if we can integrate that once we deliver it as well, such as the boxes, make it creative. You have a cow there, so they can feel like they're still in the store. That's also great as well. So you kill two birds with one stone, practically. Now, some of the threats, of course, is that Jennings ice cream is significantly less. Their prices are less. Jennings has a more popular customer base because they're more nationally located. So of course they're going to have more customers as a result, and which y'all also can have once we actually expand. And you have competitors like Ben and Jerry who have other resources such as more money and more resources to work with. And that's basically the SWOT analysis, and that's compared to the Jennings mostly. Do you have any questions about that I can clarify, you guys?
Yes.
Question?
Jenny's is significantly less expensive. You might get to this.
As far as the pints of ice cream is
So
concerned.
like shipping wise.
Right.
Shipping a pint, how much does it cost?
Yeah, I think it was.
It's actually in our report.
Okay,
It will be
so
with you guys on
wait,
Monday.
yeah.
So this
Okay.
is kind of like the.
Okay, got it.
this is the tip.
Once we get to the financials, you'll be able to follow
Okay.
as well.
So we're gonna define our objectives, and so the main objective was the Flavor of the Month Club, develop new flavors for ice cream enthusiasts at a premium and refined experience. Package the Amy's experience so that it can bring joy to people's homes, and increase the consumer morale by bringing the customers further into the Amy's family by being part of their almost everyday lives by having a delivery system. And by doing this, we can do this by attracting people by having sampling parties, seeking insight and suggestions and feedback from customers, and quirky packaging to create another gem of value for Amy's customers. Just like the box they get might be a little colorful and have crushing ideas inside the box for them to make with their ice cream. And here's the actual, the next slide. We see the whole framework, and we have our objective, which is get at least 100 people to jumpstart the Amy's Flavor of the Month Club. And we're thinking about like at least a 6-month time frame to get at least 100 people subscribed. And this will make our make the whole project profitable and sustainable for the coming months as well. And by doing this, we have 3 strategies that we would like to use. Advertise at Amy's locations via flyers and surveys, as well as on their website. And we decided to choose at least 3 stores that have a really good demographic base for us to use. There's more information about that, and we'll talk about it later. About the actual, some of the breakdowns of like the really good percentage of people that live there. So like $75,000 they make a year and up. Really good percentages. And the next strategy would be to begin an ice cream incentive promotional plan for candidates to join. Again, this will just drum up interest and get people to sign up. And finally, implement the sample tastings to attract potential candidates as well. So try out new flavors with people and let them know these are some of the flavors they may have if they join the club. And alongside with that, we have different tactics to go along to actually carry out these strategies. And now I'll pass it on to Katika to talk about our research. Oh, wait. Sorry, I still have this part. My bad. We also have the way we conducted our research. We had research insights and implications. So we just did a little research through our surveys, and we decided the potential of customer demographics as well on the next slide. And we even set up a whole graph for the segmentation. And we decided that our best customers to try to go after would be young professionals with disposable income, because they like those quirky flavors and things like that. And middle-aged parents with children with also disposable income. They can afford our delivery system. And we also have our strategic canvas on the same slide.
Which you guys saw the last time.
And
We'll go into more detail with this in the previous slide. This just kind of sets up like how we did our research. So it was 3 main points. We attacked research in terms of insights and implications of like what those demographics could mean, and we conducted kind of a more of a demographic analysis on like what would be ideal for long-term viability for the product and how valuable the customers are. And then also later on we talk about strategic canvas. But this is kind of the intro slide to that. But we're going to jump into that now. Right. So for the research findings that Omar was talking about, we found basically when we were first initially going into this idea, we found 3 key points about this flavor of the month idea. First of all, subscription clubs are definitely a thing. Birchbox, certain websites like fantasy.com, where it's like you could get curated items sent directly to you. People enjoy just giving gifts to each other or just collecting these items for themselves. Birchbox, for example, someone who isn't really willing to go into stores and try out different beauty products individually, because that takes a while, because you have to read reviews, you have to go into the stores and curate them yourselves. Instead, you have a box that you can just select items from every month, and it's a new box every time, new things every time. So it's just a convenience factor because people are getting more and more busy, or busier and busier, sorry. But this enables them to kind of streamline that. So with ice cream, it's definitely, we wanted to make sure that this was a viable market. So for subscription clubs, definitely, according to the New Yorker article that we cite here, it definitely has a success with the indie audience, and Austin is perfect for that location because there are there's very much a very indie population here, regardless of age. So people are very, kind of quirky, it's weird, things like that. So that goes into the potential for the consumer base that Omar will further go into with percentages. But it's basically, we knew going in that this would be aimed at wealthier Austinites. Definitely not students because we don't really have a disposable income, but definitely wealthier Austinites and also foodies we were considering. And then, third point.
I'm sorry, can I just ask one question?
Sure.
Because I want to clarify what I'm seeing. So on one of the first slides you said your objective was to jumpstart the program with 100 early adopters?
Yeah, within 6 months.
Okay, so when you're saying potential customer base, are you talking about for the program for the long haul, or are you talking about just to jumpstart the 100?
Initially.
Okay, so wealthier Austinites and foodies,
Right.
just for the first 100.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So eventually other people will catch on too once they see it's a
Gotcha.
pretty good idea.
These are
Okay.
the people that are more likely to take that risk. Because usually if you tell someone, hey, there's a subscription service for ice cream, they're like, well, ice cream, I can just go to the store. But these people are more willing to, take a chance with that.
Sure. I just wanted to be clear
Not a
on
problem.
what I was saying.
And that third point, nostalgia sells. So this is kind of an intuitive aspect, but it's also backed up by research. The case study that we found was on Lucky Charms, which is, if you click the next slide, it's those two commercials. You guys are welcome to play.
We're having a little bit of a
Oh.
glitch.
Are you able to see it on that?
Oh, you just have to enable
Continue?
it. No,
Okay.
just do this,
Good there.
and then continue. It should be there. And it should load. Yes.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry about that.
I'm
so
I'm
that's-
laughing at the image. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the YouTube videos, if you want to go ahead and press anyone, they're
Let's do
basically
this.
Yes, let's.
You always have to be Lucky Charms.
Oh, I forgot how good these taste.
The magically delicious.
So you can see from there, it's essentially both commercials are essentially around the same concept. There's this office businesswoman that's taking a break, and she happens upon these Lucky Charms, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna take a bite of this, and she gets transported back to kind of her childhood, and in the end, it's kind of this nostalgia value. So Lucky Charms knew that 40% of their consumer base were adults, but when they ran these commercials in 2012, they had a spike in sales even further. So, people don't really think, when people think of adult cereals, they think of Raisin Bran and all the healthy stuff. But, adults can, have a little childish fun sometimes, and this is a perfect case for it. So, basically, nostalgia sells. It's the jingle at the end that she's familiar with, it's definitely documented.
You're talking to the right crowd for childish fun.
Yeah.
And this goes further more into detail. A report written by the Consumerist, just what I just said. It's a big part of General Mills sales, the fact that they sell these cereals to adults. It's a big portion of their sales. So we can definitely, I understand that Amy's is a smaller company, but General Mills, if they can achieve this on such a grand scale, it's definitely doable for a local business, for sure. Because who doesn't love ice cream trucks, right? Alright, so next slide. The next slide should be packaging matters.
I think we're not advancing. Aaron's is, but I think we're stuck on Lucky Charms.
Videos.
It's the little leprechaun.
Playing tricks on the
Eat Lucky Charms.
But also another factor that we'll go further into as well, packaging definitely matters. In fact, there's an Apple case study where it's like there's a person designated to opening these boxes to like shape the user experience. There's one person dedicated to that. So, yeah. Alright. Now, into it's at segmentation right now. Okay, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So segmentation. So we want to make sure that we get the right customers. We segment them correctly. I don't want to make any mistakes because we have a one shot pretty much at this. We want to make sure that it's sustainable. We want to make sure that we can do this for long term, not just for now, but in the long term in the future. Identifiability and measurability. We want to make sure that everything is correct, all the prices are right, the timing is on point. Because when people understand what Amy's is all about, they want to make sure they come back. And you don't just want to just give it to them at first. You want to make sure they come back all the time, which is the point of this whole project. We want to make sure it's accessible to them. Our customers is our biggest concern. So make sure that the things are accessible to them, the deliveries get there on time, it's fine, it's like how they want it. They want to come into the store, we make sure we have that delivery for them as well if it's not working, on the road. We want to make sure everything is accessible to them at all times. And responsiveness, we want to make sure that they understand what they're getting. They are able to come to us if they have problems with anything, and we can correct those in a timely manner with no issues at all. Okay.
Yep, they're not against me again.
Tell me what to press and I'll do it manually.
I'll just intro to it possibly.
So the potential customer demographics. That's the flag. So we kind of broke up, potential customers into 4 groups, and as you can see, it's kind of like a graph: favorability, long-term buyers, and as you can see, our best demographic to go after would probably be the middle-aged parents, like I said earlier, with disposable income, and young professionals with disposable income would be the best customers to target right now for us.
Are these ranked by size or closest to the top or both?
These are also like size and the best quadrant is in the top right area, but it kind of is also size. So college students isn't a very big group. Older Austinites with disposable income is a large group, but they're not our most favorable. Because we even said, we even got some survey data. People were like, "This is too much ice cream. I don't know if I could eat all of this in a month." Or it's kind of a little bit unhealthy side for older people. But these 2 groups are the best to go after.
And just because of the idea of the organizations or the people that we're dealing with, we approximated that this would be the size of it. So the box is really quite subjective. We just thought that college students, okay, well, there'll be a small population because they don't have the income for this. That's how we based the sizes.
And then our next section is targeting. So like I said, target market is the young professionals and disposable income and parents, middle-aged parents that like ice cream and their kids like ice cream too. The next slide is our positioning statement, which is for Amy's as a whole and specifically for this Flavor of the Month Club. And we offer as a whole high-quality ice cream, unique in various flavors, and a fun, welcoming environment here at Amy's. To ice cream lovers and buyers looking for an in-home experience, take that fun and bring it back into their own homes. And it's for consumers who enjoy delicious ice cream and a unique experience. Unlike Ben & Jerry's, Jenny's, Splendid Ice Creams, and Bluebell, who cannot offer the fun experience that Amy's provides for its customers at their locations here in Austin. And our promise as a team is to bring our unmatched experience into customers' homes through these special deliveries. And we want to make that delivery really something special when these new customers get.
So that was our mission statement and pretty much our brand for this entire project.
So are you, when you say, because you're using a fun, welcoming environment as a big selling point, are you banking on the fact that people that you target have been in a store before?
Yes.
Okay.
And they'll bring that back into their own homes.
Got it.
And even if they happen, if they see the box, they will want to come to the Amy store.
Got it.
Yeah.
Are you
Red Ocean versus Blue Ocean strategy?
good?
So we kind of came upon this topic during the semester, and the reason why we brought it up is that and it transitions well into our strategy that we'll describe later. But essentially what it is that as a business, what we're doing is we're thinking of this ice cream truck, right? And other ice cream companies haven't really thought about this. So it's being able to, even though you're in a saturated market such as ice cream sellers, you're still trying to diversify while still keeping in close contact with your core competency, which is making ice cream and making it a fun experience. So it's able to kind of take over, that market with like innovative strategies, which is what we're going for. And then the next slide kind of goes into more of like what we went into.
I'm sorry, we didn't get it again. Thank you.
No problem. I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
You can beep and I'll click it if you want me to.
No, it's okay. I want to make it like hands off. Or if you want to.
Yeah, I don't
It's
mind
cool.
it. And am I?
He feels empowered.
Okay. That's fine.
You're part of the presentation.
Alright, well, this next one is for the 4 actions framework is another slide that we came across during our semester, and it kind of basically these 4 considerations are looked at when any business tries to develop a new strategy. So, how to reduce, how to eliminate, erase, and we're focusing on creating. So, how can you create this new idea to make yourself and continue to make yourself more relevant? So for the next slide.
Can you? I'm sorry. And I'm if I'm spending too much time on
No,
any one thing,
this is what it's for. No worries.
I just need a little bit of context on. I get create and I get raise, but give me examples of what reduce and eliminate when you're saying what factors should be reduced well below the industry standard. Just tell me like elimination and reduction. Like what? Give me an example of each.
Okay, so for reduction, I mean, like we said, we focused on create in this aspect because Amy's does everything else well. But in terms of reduction, say for take Frito-Lay for example. If they have a certain chips product that isn't selling as well as they want, but they've still put so much inventory in force for it. Marketing's really going after it. I don't know, tandoori flavored, chips or something. There's a very small market that likes it, but everyone else is just like, what is this flavor? So they should reduce that in order to make their supply chain and make their bottom line higher.
So basically, you can cut the unneeded fat to help
Got it.
the rest of the project.
Got
And
it.
then eliminate is also similar to
I understand. Thank you.
No problem.
I haven't actually gone
Let's do.
Oh, that's great.
It's that
You can join.
left of mind, seriously.
A part of the cool kids
Can you
club.
please-
Are you ready for me? I didn't hear a beep.
Did we? We went too far. Go for it. Okay, so everyone should be looking at the strategic canvas.
Good. Okay.
We
Okay,
got it.
Cool. So what we did with the strategic canvas is like Reggie was saying earlier, we compared it with Jenny's, and you can see where Amy's is. Like if Amy's is above, then Amy's is doing better than Jenny's in that metric. So this is how it is right now.
And this is just a few of the points that we noticed. Of course, there's several things that go into it, so there might be a lot of things that you guys are better than them that we didn't cover.
How
These
many
are some of the main
locations
points.
does Jenny's have?
So they're more nationwide. They don't have any locations in Texas, but they're in 4 different states, including Georgia. I believe it was Tennessee and 2 other states, but they're a little bit more
Ohio.
nationwide.
They're
Ohio.
from Ohio. I mean, how many, do you know how many units they have?
I think it was 4 different states, but we didn't actually look at how many actual locations they have. But they do have the online order system as well.
Okay, are they franchised or company owned?
I think we did a little more research on that, and it's going to be in our report that we'll hand over to you guys on Monday. But I believe they're owned by just one.
Company. Got
Which is they have a very small group that are like.
And multiple locations. So their locations, you're counting all the retail,
Yeah,
all
total.
the supermarkets that they're okay.
So the different reach they have.
So that's any point of purchase.
Right.
Okay, got it.
So it might not be like a physical Amy's location too. It might just be where customers can pick up their orders.
Right.
But then when we have the next slide, we have thinking outside the box.
We
And
need to-
it's
next
literally
Oh.
yes.
Oh, you know what? There's one other thing I would suggest to you that per cup and per pint. that sort of just strikes me as not well, two things. Multiple locations maybe should be points of purchase instead of multiple locations, just because, there's such a heavy investment in a bricks and mortar enterprise versus just shipping ice cream to a supermarket. So I think points of purchase may be either that, or it's just a hard thing to compare
Yeah.
stores versus boxes that you send somewhere. So I don't know. Maybe I would try and clarify that a little bit further, and then per cup and per pint, I would do exact apples to apples.
Okay.
Mhm.
Would you say something for multiple locations instead of doing multiple locations? Maybe looking at how many units are sold.
Yeah, that would be probably a more fair comparison.
We could definitely do that.
It's just depending, since they might be a public company, to get the hands on that information.
Yeah, that's the whole idea of getting like the exact research so we can make sure everything is exact. So that's why we just said, okay, with multiple locations, of course they have more.
You can take gross sales, and how can you get their gross sales? Maybe because you're an open book.
Yeah, it's a little more digging.
But so if you look at the next slide, it goes outside the box, which is what we're urging to think outside the box. It literally goes outside the box.
That's cute. I just like that idea, that image. Outside the box. You could use that
Especially
in a
mine.
T-shirt or something.
Yes. Wait, the cow? It's just a clip art cow.
No, I mean just the whole idea of outside the box.
Oh.
That's such a commonly used, and where we all feel proud if we're thinking outside the box.
Mhm.
So we could do some kind of T-shirt where there's a box and the idea bubble, and
Yeah.
place ourselves there.
That's
That'd be great.
It's very clever.
Very clever.
Yes, that's our differentiation.
The next slide of
The next beat.
So, of course, we noticed some things that could be different from Jenny's and Bluebell and Ben & Jerry's, but we want to make sure that these two things are definitely different for Amy. So we want to make sure that we innovate the cute design for packaging. The packaging, of course, for other businesses are just your standard, here's your box, here's your ice cream. But of course, as Amy have the great store experience, we want to make sure that it's also integrated with the delivery. So, like you said, Aaron, the other day, you can have like the cow in the box, or a box made of a cow, something extraordinary that can make it a cute design.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure we have that take home appeal, so they can feel that okay, well I'm taking this from the store. If I get this at home, I'm getting the exact same thing as I would in the store. So we make sure we integrate all of that through the deliveries.
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to go here right now, but that's the ad campaign for the pint sales, outside the box. It's perfect.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
I like that.
Also,
Thank you.
It's
Bob.
good.
Yeah.
It's part of the goals here was trying to help Amy's, outside thinking, or help you guys,
Well, this is also good for differentiation. Like, if let's say you have home delivery going on, and somebody delivers the ice cream from Amy's, if the outer package is recognizable and it's branded, then somebody sees it and goes, "Oh, that's I want some ice cream too." That's a really good idea.
Exactly.
We better get that in the freezer.
Yeah, right. Or bring that over here. They're not home.
Also something that I will caution on that though is that so many companies put so much into a box design that every time they have to make a new design, they're incurring more costs.
Sure.
So like maybe sticking with a design that's very iconic and like sticking with that for many years to come.
Right.
Like Coke or Starbucks, they don't really change their packaging that much, but you know instantly that he has a Starbucks or something. So that's kind of more what we're going for.
that's
with
why we
these
thought
two.
cow, because since that's basically
like
the
your
logo.
mascot.
So there we go.
It's a good idea. Oh, beep. I'm sorry.
So part of the segmentation and targeting is we wanted recruiting those loyal subscribers, and we did a little more research, more secondary research, and we tracked down the zip codes of 3 different stores. There's a Mira Vista, 6th Street, and Arboretum, and we thought these would be 3 really good locations to begin our recruiting and strong advertisement in these 3 store locations. And we had, like I said, the 6th Street location with the zip code of 78703, and when we looked at the secondary data from zipcode.com, or I forgot the exact website, but it's gonna be in the report. 38.6% of the population in the area makes above $75,000 a year, and we decided to make that the cutoff just to be a little more conservative. And so there's a good chunk of people that have that disposable income that live in the downtown area. And now we have the Arboretum with the zip code of 78759. 39.2% of the population makes above $75,000 a year, so it's another good chunk. And Mira Vista actually has a really good percentage as well, with the 39.2% of the population making above $75,000 a year, and that's the West Austin area, of course. So each of these stores have really good areas to do your recruiting and advertising, so we can get a lot of those customers that live in the area to get ice cream delivered to their homes every month. And yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No,
Okay.
go ahead.
And like I said, these areas will give us. We believe that these areas will give us a good return on investment. The investment you're going to be putting in these stores for advertising and recruiting.
And like you mentioned earlier, we're sticking to them at first, but this is just to establish a loyal base first.
Yep.
It's like word of mouth, and then you'll notice later on with the financials, we're spending a lot on advertising initially, but later on we're hoping that it kind of feeds into itself. So like how everyone knows when chocolate covered strawberries are going to come out, they're like on the lookout for that. Hopefully we can get this delivery service on that same level. So, right.
And the next page will be our financials.
Okay, so these are a lot of numbers. We can just take, I can walk through one of the calculations, and it just basically is the same thing from there on out. So for number of subscribers, let's take May for example. The first time you start out, we're expecting to get a new number of subscribers with 5, like in April. And then in May, hopefully we'll get 15. And we're staying conservative just to make the best prediction, because we don't want to overshoot this at all, because that could be a potential for losing a lot of money. So that's why we tried to stay as conservative as we could with these calculations. So in May, you have 15 total for that month. So you have a total of 20 customers. They're each paying $55 a month. So this is their annual, like they've signed on to an annual payment plan.
Subscription, yeah.
Right. And there's 3 of them. So there's $660 a year. There is 180 per quarter, which is 60 per month for 3 months. And then there's also, if people want to go month to month, then they can have 70. So as you can see, it gets better. It's a better deal technically if you go for the whole year, which is what we're trying to push. But you also get less per month, which is why we stayed with that calculation for the conservative calculations. So you're getting 55 per person per month, so that's 20 per people, and 55 each, so that's 1,100 for revenue for that month. Then you go into expenses. We're seeing that ad campaign's probably going to be 1,200 for that month. We took the same number from the chocolate covered strawberries. We anticipate that it'll probably be the same amount, if not less. So the product cost we've established at $40 a box, so that'll be $800 for that month. Patrol cost to make the rounds for the delivery, we reasoned it to be a full tank of gas, so 30 gallons, $4, so $120 to make that round for that month. And then we're assuming though that this is all 1-day delivery. So it's not different days, different people get different, it's just 1 day, everyone drops it off. So we're going with that. We can change that later though if needed, but we're going with that. And then for email maintenance, just having a domain name, we're going with $20 a month. So all that included, we have total expenses of $2,140. And so you have a net profit for May for $1,040, and then you have a loss in the beginning for the cumulative profit. But if you'll see later on, 3 months later, for August, you start making a profit, and that stays that way for a while.
Yeah, once you have the customers there,
Mm-hmm.
more customers you have, the better. More sales will increase profits, and you'll start making money eventually, but not too long into the months.
And these financials are just strictly educated estimates because based on what we've seen, what we researched, we thought, okay, well, I think these would be the most exact numbers, well not exact, the most similar numbers for Amy's. Of course, numbers will change as we actually do implementation.
Yeah. With this, you guys can add your own numbers in and figure out your exact financials. It's kind of it's not a difficult system to work around with. Once you know your data, you can just plug it in, and you'll get your expected profit for each month.
I just wanted to give you guys a ballpark.
Mhm.
Yes.
We can even send the Excel sheet that we use because we just copy pasted this, but it'll have all the formulas on there. So, but yeah, I mean, even from I'm a supply chain major, so even from a supply chain perspective, you have 4 months of loss, but that is okay because later on, there's a lot of. So don't be scared.
Yeah.
It's an investment, and it's fine.
I would suggest that you guys tweak your numbers as the number of customers advances. I think your costs for delivery and for email maintenance are going to increase. And I like that you've reduced your ad spend as you've increased. But I think maybe instead of going away and doing 0 for 3 months and then coming back up to 1,200, you should reduce on a slower scale, so that because in the beginning, especially if you're building the customer base and you're losing money, I think going away completely I think it should go the other way. I think you should.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also and this isn't, this is not for you to give to us, but for us, our ability to kind of give you, what metric you use is really important. So whether or not it's a hard dollar or it's a percentage. So for instance, cost of goods in our case is 100% variable versus fixed cost. So it's a percentage is the metric you choose for cost of goods because it's related to your sales. So usually when I see these, they're not hard numbers. They have some numbers that are hard numbers and some numbers that are percentages.
We can definitely tweak that for the actual report, so we can come back with an even better estimate. All right, 8.
Oh,
Start implementation.
Yeah, it should
That was
be.
the fun stuff.
Oh.
So we've touched on this previous too, but we'll go more into detail between all of us. It's like we said, it's an in-store experience. Do you guys like the packaging?
Yes, it's adorable.
We kind of based it off of like Aaron said last time. He wanted, like this
box.
This is your
cool if
idea.
it was a truck.
All right, supply chain, where do we get that?
I have the link for it.
Yeah.
They sell it on eBay for $15.
It might be cheaper to make it yourself.
Yeah,
The
it might be cheaper. Yeah, the box, and there's it's basically just a novelty like ice cream cup thing. It's paper cups for birthday parties and stuff. But the reason why we put that picture on there is it's more of like this is what the box could look like, and this has definitely been done. So maybe something to add to that. We noticed when we went to the locations that a big part of the Amy's experience is the chalkboard.
The art.
Yeah. And the cows that Reggie mentioned, and the chalkboard that Omar mentioned, it's just like incorporating that. Chalkboard paint is really cheap to make, and I feel like if you made a truck and then you had like something on there like painted on one side and like included maybe a few things of chalk for the kids, that would be fun. And it's just like receiving this box, it's not only the ice cream, but it's the whole thing that goes with it. So that'd be kind of cool. Maybe have like the truck driver being a cow or something. Incorporate everything.
Right. That's when I was asking before about the experience, like banking on people coming in, that consistency of experience even in your home. That's a good idea.
Don't let the cow drop.
Good idea.
It's really hard in the short house.
Yeah.
For example, the Raisin Canes. So the other day I went there and I ordered the kids meal because I wasn't really that hungry, but I really wanted chicken. So they give you a paper assembly thing of a dog. And it's like, it's not McDonald's, you don't get the most recent, toy, but it was cute. It was very Raisin Caney, and I wanted to go back and
Well, and if you package that for adults and you gave adults permission to be creative,
Have childish fun.
have childish fun.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, this is more what Aaron had mentioned at the beginning of the semester. He had also mentioned this thing about, since we're going to be using dry ice, just opening it and seeing the smoke come out, maybe even having a letter, like he had mentioned, kind of like, well, the way you said it was like, it's a very sweetly written letter of like, hope you enjoy your ice cream, be careful, don't burn yourself
from
up.
you, Amy.
Yeah.
perhaps.
Just be personally signed or something. That'd be really cool.
Autograph.
Yeah. So, yeah, and this culture is very hard to copy. So, I mean, I feel like in terms of diversification, if you can capitalize on culture, you've got Jenny's pretty much beat. Yeah. And this kind of goes more into what we just said. Kind of the whole thing, what we perceive the subscriber experience to be is that they get the box, they open it, and the smoke comes out. They read the letter and they enjoy the ice cream, and then in that moment, they're like, man, Amy's is awesome. I'm gonna eat here all the time or order from there all the time. So then afterwards, if you have new campaigns, they're more likely to be like, you've turned these like, I don't really know if I want a delivery truck service to, okay, if Amy's is doing it, I'm gonna go for it type thing. So,
And now we'll talk about our risk and contingencies. So this kind of goes into what happens if this strategy doesn't work. So risk one, advertising in our target stores does not produce enough members for our Flavor of the Month club. And this would hurt profits because it would take longer to get a return on investment. But our solution would be to find better Amy's locations, possibly if it's not working in a certain area, and focus more efforts on social media, because I know social media is a lot cheaper to push things on, especially your Twitter, your Facebook, and you can get to different people like that as well. Risk two would be the ice cream incentives promotional plan to attract new customers to join. Might upset other people because they would feel left out. So a solution would be have monthly rewards days for current club members. So the way I see this risk is like people already joining feel like they're being left out because prospects to join are getting all this free stuff. So so people that are already in the club, they don't feel left out. We can have days where club members can come in and they'll get a discount or something on ice cream. Risk three, if the implement of the sample tastings to attract potential candidates may not actually get customers to join the club. This may end up as being sunk costs for us if we do not sign people up at these tastings. So a solution to that would be at the tastings we should have you can have employees ready to sign up customers to the club, and these employees would be educated on the club in and out, and so if customers have any questions, the employees can answer them. And these employees should also be able to show all the benefits to being in the club, along with information on how to receive discounts either on the club by, like how we talked about, if you sign up for multiple months, it's less expensive for the customer. So just things like that. These are important to remember so we know how to hedge our risks. The next slide, future growth and opportunities.
So what I was saying earlier with future growth opportunities, obviously for this semester we focused on getting the delivery truck off the ground and potential for that. But what we we didn't really do too much research on this because we were focusing on the delivery truck. But what kind of came up in conversation was definitely Reggie and Omar in the beginning. They were like, "Oh, this reminds me of food trucks," and we were like, "Oh, well, food truck franchising might be a thing," because it's like you mentioned with Jenny's. We don't know for sure, but we're pretty sure they're brick and mortar stores. But different ice cream stores like Rita's has franchising opportunities, and food trucks are considerably cheaper to manage than brick and mortar. But food trucks would also kind of be an extension of the packaging. So and food trucks are kind of more personal as well, like different people. It's just a different culture. So maybe that could be extended into online ordering. You have like this delivery truck service. Then you could branch out into maybe online ordering, which Amy's, from our understanding, already kind of does. People get ice cream all the way up to New York. So it's definitely, the infrastructure exists for it, but we just don't know if there's a fan base for it. So by doing this kind of stuff, it's like, it paves the way for even more risks to be taken. And then also, remembering to maintain core competencies though, because Amy's is best at making ice cream, so that's not what we want to lose, and the culture definitely.
Quality of the product and the flavors and everything. Just the core ideas and get people to come back every time. We want to keep on doing that. And again, with the food truck, maybe possibly in the future you can service areas that are kind of a little outside of Austin, or people oh, they're having a birthday thing. Amy's can come and make a good little chunk of change from a birthday party or things like that. Just future ideas for you guys to possibly use in the future.
Again, these aren't concrete
Yeah,
at all.
this is
We
just
kinda-
extra
What
ideas.
we thought about.
And you guys, any more questions that we can answer for you?
That's awesome.
I can tell.
Like it.
Yeah.
That is.
We're not actually that confused though.
Yeah, you're dazzling. I think we asked our questions all
Yeah.
along the way.
Thank
Yay!
Thanks for doing this for us.
Yes, we really appreciate
So
you
much.
guys
We
giving us the
really enjoyed
opportunity
this. We
to
really did.
learn from you guys and work with y'all. And like I said again, you guys will be getting a report on Monday, bounded up and with more information you guys can look through. And if you guys have any questions too, our email addresses will be on there. You
Phone
can ask
numbers.
us.
If you beep it down.
And also,
Oh.
yeah, there's a little bit
Oh,
of a
there you
bio.
guys are.
That's cute.
Wow. Hair and makeup, professional photography, everything.
Well, I like the different ways you guys have chosen to express
Pictures,
yourself. It's
yeah.
so different,
I know,
the three
like-
of you.
Yeah.
Give you a good view.
And also, I know Professor Peterson possibly emailed Aaron with our grading, how to grade us, and that's it.
And we recorded this. I'm really proud. We recorded this for Bill because he couldn't be here today. So he wanted some way to hear us. So we recorded our session today. So it
Wonderful.
won't be used for anything else.
Just distributes. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank
That
you
was
guys so much.
wonderful.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. I'm getting your